In the dim light of a distant sun, Earth lay suspended in time, a relic of a bygone era, forgotten by the relentless march of progress. And while humanity had spread its wings across the galaxy, Earth had become little more than a faded memory, a silent testament to an age when the cradle of civilization once beat with promise and potential. Once, Earth had been a beacon of hope and ingenuity, a vibrant stage upon which the human spirit danced. Now, beneath a patchwork of crumbling cities and overgrown ruins, its legacy was shrouded in neglect. The Galactic Council, that august body of interstellar elites, had long dismissed Earth's desperate pleas as relics of a primitive past. They saw only a stagnant world, one that clung to outdated customs and a history too steeped in sorrow to be of any worth. From the orbiting space stations that now pulsed with the lifeblood of modern technology to the bustling colonies scattered among the stars, the universe had moved on. The Council's opulent chambers, filled with sleek, alien designs and humming with the energy of a cosmic network, had no room for a planet mired in the dust of history. Earth's people, though resilient, were left to battle against the indifference of a society that had evolved beyond its simple origins. Yet, amid the despair and abandonment, there lingered a quiet dignity. In the silent whispers of the wind through ancient forests and in the resolute eyes of those who still dared to dream, there was a spark, a memory of what once was, and perhaps what could be again. The very soil of Earth seemed to mourn its neglect, as if the planet itself bled with the unspoken stories of humanity's lost potential. In the heart of this forgotten world, where hope was as scarce as fresh water, the stage was quietly being set for a rebellion that would shake the very foundations of the Galactic Council. Unbeknownst to the complacent powers that ruled the stars, the legacy of Earth was far from extinguished. It was waiting, patiently, persistently, for the moment when its voice would rise again, strong enough to echo across the void of space and remind the universe that even in the darkest corners, the light of defiance could still burn bright. In a dimly lit room aboard an aging space freighter orbiting a dilapidated moon, Captain Nova Sterling sat alone with a storm raging in their eyes. The silence was punctuated only by the low hum of the ship's aging engines, a reminder of battles fought and promises broken. Nova's mind, however, was far from still. It roiled with memories of loss and the burning desire for redemption. Once a respected officer of the Galactic Fleet, Nova had witnessed firsthand the cruelty of neglect, the pain of losing comrades, of watching Earth's pleas fall on deaf ears, had carved a deep scar in their soul. That same pain now fueled a determination as fierce as the solar flares that danced across the cosmos. It was this relentless inner fire that had compelled Nova to step away from a life dictated by rigid orders and into the uncertain realm of defiance. A faded hollow message, its image wavering like a ghost in the static, replayed scenes of a past marred by bureaucratic indifference. The message, a fragment of Earth's once hopeful broadcast, had been intercepted by Nova during a routine patrol. It had sparked an idea, a calling that reverberated through the corridors of their heart. In that message, amidst words of despair and pleas for help, Nova heard the echo of a future that might yet be reclaimed. The room around Nova, cluttered with relics from a time when Earth still pulsed with life, became a sanctuary of purpose. Each worn-out map and dusty trinket whispered stories of rebellion, of dreams too vast to be silenced. Nova's fingers brushed over an old, battered photograph of a family, a poignant reminder of what was at stake. They had seen the Council's cruel dismissal firsthand. Earth's struggles were trivialized by distant powers that viewed the planet as a liability rather than a legacy. As the ship orbited in quiet defiance of a universe that had largely forgotten Earth, Nova made a silent vow. The call of destiny was irresistible, a summons to rise above the ashes of neglect and restore a planet's honor. The mission was perilous, almost foolhardy, but hope seldom dwelled in the realm of the cautious. The captain's resolve crystallized in that moment. Nova would reclaim Earth's voice, not with a grand fleet or a legion of armies, but with a single, daring ship, a beacon of rebellion in the unyielding dark. The decision was made, and in the solitude of that cramped quarters, Nova's eyes gleamed with the certainty of one who has been reborn. The journey from a life of silent grief to one of active insurgency had begun. With every beat of their determined heart, the call of destiny grew louder, promising that soon, the long-ignored world of Earth would stand proud once more amidst the stars. Nova's ship, a battered yet unyielding relic of forgotten battles, hummed softly as it prepared to break free from the lonely orbit of a desolate moon. In the dim glow of flickering control panels and scattered starlight through the viewport, the ship became a crucible of possibility, a haven where misfits and rebels could converge. Across the galaxy, word had begun to spread like wildfire. Nova's reputation, both as a formidable former officer and a daring renegade, resonated with those who felt abandoned by the Galactic Council. One by one, these individuals answered the call of destiny. They arrived not in uniform regiments, but as a diverse collection of souls, each scarred by their own battles and driven by a shared longing for change. In the cramped, bustling corridors of the ship's docking bay, a motley crew assembled. There was Lysander, a roguish pilot whose quick reflexes and irreverent humor belied a tragic past of loss and betrayal. His laughter cut through the tension like a well-aimed blaster shot. Beside him stood Dr. Mira Solis, a brilliant but unconventional xenobiologist whose eyes sparkled with curiosity and defiance. Her theories about alien life forms had once been dismissed by the academic elite, but here, among comrades of conviction, her ideas flourished. The ship's engineering section, a labyrinth of humming machinery and intricate circuitry, became the workshop for Reeve, a former council technician turned saboteur. With nimble fingers and an analytical mind, Reeve reconfigured ancient circuits and patched up damaged modules, each spark of ingenuity a silent act of rebellion. In the quiet moments, Reeve's gaze would drift to a faded photograph of a family left behind, a poignant reminder of the stakes at hand. As the crew gathered in the common area, the atmosphere was electric with anticipation and the raw edge of unspoken dreams. Nova, standing at the helm, regarded the assembly with a mix of steely resolve and empathetic understanding. Each misfit was more than just a member of the crew. They were a living testament to Earth's enduring spirit, a microcosm of the very rebellion that could alter the fabric of the galaxy. "Welcome aboard," Nova began, voice firm yet imbued with a warmth that belied the harshness of their past. "Every one of you carries a story, a loss, a fight, a hope that refuses to be extinguished. Together, we will forge a future that the Council can no longer ignore." A murmur of agreement rippled through the room. In that moment, differences melted away. The varied accents and exotic features of the gathered crew only underscored the richness of their shared heritage, a tapestry of human and alien threads interwoven in the fabric of defiance. Amid cautious smiles and tentative nods, conversations sparked into life. Lysander recounted his narrow escapes from Council enforcers in distant spaceports, his words punctuated by bursts of laughter that masked deeper pain. Dr. Mira Solis discussed the potential of terraforming uninhabited moons, her theories hinting at an era when nature and technology might coexist in harmony. Reeve offered insights into the vulnerabilities of Council technology, his measured tone hinting at secrets too dangerous to speak aloud in open quarters. As the crew exchanged ideas and forged bonds, a palpable sense of purpose enveloped them. In that shared space, each misfit was not merely an outcast, but a crucial piece of a larger mosaic, a promise that even in the cold, indifferent expanse of space, unity could spark revolution. Nova listened intently, absorbing the myriad perspectives with a quiet intensity. The ship's engines, now whispering of imminent journeys, seemed to mirror the collective heartbeat of the crew, a steady rhythm of hope, defiance, and the promise of a rebellion that could reawaken a forgotten world. In the soft glow of the starry cosmos, as old wounds mingled with fresh resolve, the misfits began to see not just each other, but the reflection of their own dreams. And in that reflection, the seeds of a new dawn took root, a dawn that would challenge the established order and rewrite the destiny of Earth itself. The corridors of the ship turned dim as if in reverence to the clandestine nature of their mission. Under the glow of low, ambient lighting, Nova and the crew gathered in a secluded meeting room, a space where every whisper carried the weight of forbidden knowledge. Here, amidst the interplay of shadows and soft hums of machinery, secrets began to unravel. Reeve, the ship's ingenious engineer, led the way. With measured steps and a determined glint in his eye, he approached a secure terminal concealed behind layers of outdated Council encryption. His nimble fingers danced over the controls, bypassing barriers that had been deemed impenetrable by the Galactic Council's top technicians. The screen flickered to life, displaying data streams that chronicled covert Council transactions and unexplained anomalies across the outer colonies. "These logs," Reeve murmured, his voice a blend of awe and apprehension, contain fragments of plans and orders that suggest something far more sinister than simple neglect. The Council isn't just ignoring Earth. They're orchestrating a grand design to control the remnants of what they consider obsolete humanity. As the data scrolled across the screen, Nova leaned forward, absorbing every detail. The information painted a picture of a web of corruption, one that extended far beyond the bureaucratic indifference the crew had anticipated. Dark corners of the Council's influence were exposed, revealing hidden partnerships with clandestine organizations and shadowy figures whose allegiance was bought with power and fear. Dr. Mira Solis, her eyes alight with the thrill of discovery, interjected softly. "If these records are true, then the Council's suppression of Earth is merely the tip of the iceberg. They're systematically erasing history, rewriting it to suit their vision of a controlled galaxy. We need to understand the full extent of their plans before we can challenge them." The room fell into a profound silence, heavy with the realization that their mission was evolving into something far greater, a quest not only for redemption, but for truth. Each revelation was a spark that ignited questions about the cost of progress and the sacrifices demanded by power. In the flickering light of the terminal, the crew's faces were etched with both fear and resolve. Outside the secure chamber, echoes of distant alarms and the low murmur of Council drones patrolling the corridors served as a grim reminder of the omnipresent threat. Nova's thoughts drifted to the broader implications, a rebellion not just against a tyrannical regime, but against a system that had long shrouded its deeds in layers of secrecy and control. The mission was no longer solely about reviving Earth's voice. It was about exposing the deceit that had suffocated the spirit of freedom. As the crew dispersed back to their duties, each member carried a personal burden of the secrets shared, a mix of trepidation and an unyielding desire for justice. Nova remained behind, gazing at the data with a pensive intensity. The journey ahead was fraught with peril, and every secret uncovered was a step into a labyrinth of shadows where loyalty and truth could easily be betrayed. In that charged atmosphere, amid the interplay of light and darkness, Nova vowed to protect these revelations. The clandestine knowledge, though dangerous, was a beacon in the murky depths of galactic corruption. It was the first clear sign that the rebellion was more than an act of defiance. It was the awakening of a long-dormant force, ready to reclaim the dignity of a forgotten world. And so, as the ship sailed silently into the void, the secrets of the Galactic Council began to echo like a dark symphony, a prelude to the storm of rebellion that would soon engulf the cosmos. The star-speckled void beyond the ship's hull beckoned like an uncharted promise. With the clandestine secrets of the Council weighing heavily on their minds, Nova and the crew set a course for the Outer Rim, a treacherous frontier where lawlessness reigned and hope was as rare as the long-lost whispers of Earth's glory. As the ship hurtled through hyperspace, the familiar hum of its aging engines merged with the pulsating rhythm of determined hearts. Outside the reinforced viewing port, a riot of cosmic wonders unfolded. Nebulae glowed in brilliant hues, clusters of stars danced in gravitational ballets, and distant planets shimmered like jewels set against the velvet backdrop of space. Every flicker of light seemed to echo the promise of hidden allies, of worlds yet untainted by the Council's oppressive influence. The journey was anything but smooth. Navigating through the unpredictable turbulence of cosmic storms and the gravitational pull of rogue planets, the ship shuddered and groaned under the strain. In the command module, Nova's steady hands danced over the controls, recalibrating trajectories with the precision of a seasoned pilot. The crew, their eyes fixed on the ever-changing tapestry beyond, braced themselves against the violent shakes that punctuated the voyage. In one harrowing moment, as a massive solar wind swept over them like an otherworldly tempest, the ship's hull groaned under the relentless force. Alarm klaxons echoed through the narrow corridors, and the crew sprang into action. Lysander, the agile pilot, expertly maneuvered the vessel through a maze of erratic currents, his voice calm and commanding over the intercom. "Hold tight, everyone. This storm won't break us. It will only make our resolve stronger." Even amid the chaos, the journey was imbued with a surreal beauty. The interplay of danger and wonder melded together, painting a picture of a cosmos both merciless and magnificently alive. In the ship's quiet moments after each near miss, Nova would often steal a glance at the holographic star map, the constellations of the outer rim shimmering like distant beacons of freedom. These moments of reflection served as a silent reminder. Each pulse of light might harbor a community longing for change, each uncharted world a potential ally in their rebellion. During one particularly tense standoff with an unregistered patrol, a ragtag fleet of marauders who patrolled the lawless edges of space, the crew's unity was tested. Communications crackled with urgency as Nova issued swift, decisive orders. The confrontation was brief but fierce, a high-octane skirmish that left scars on both the vessel and its crew. Yet, the adrenaline rush in its aftermath brought with it an unspoken affirmation. Every challenge encountered on this perilous route was another step closer to igniting the spark of revolution. In the solitude of the darkened corridors, as the ship drifted momentarily in the calm after the storm, Nova allowed themselves a brief pause. The weight of the Council's corruption, the clandestine data unearthed, and the burden of Earth's legacy all converged into a quiet resolve. Beyond the immediate dangers, there lay the promise of undiscovered worlds and potential allies, a mosaic of hope waiting to be pieced together in the sprawling, uncharted territory of the Outer Rim. The ship continued its relentless voyage, the crew's spirits emboldened by their recent trials and the vision of a liberated future. Each moment in the depths of space was a testament to their defiance, a declaration that no cosmic storm or enemy patrol could extinguish the fierce light of rebellion. As they edged closer to their destination, the boundaries between survival and destiny blurred, merging into one thrilling, audacious journey into the unknown. And so, with hearts afire and eyes fixed on the glittering expanse ahead, the misfits of Nova's crew propelled themselves deeper into the Outer Rim, a realm where danger, mystery, and the seeds of a new dawn awaited. In the midst of the swirling chaos and uncharted beauty of the Outer Rim, the ship's interior pulsed with the quiet intensity of revolution. Within the cramped yet vibrant confines of their vessel, Nova's crew transformed into a living network of hope, each member a crucial node in the gathering storm of rebellion. The aftermath of the previous skirmishes had left the crew acutely aware that survival depended not only on their skill, but on unity. Nova, standing resolute at the command console, initiated a secure link to a patchwork of rebel cells hidden in the abandoned colonies and fringe worlds. The digital signals, laden with encrypted messages and urgent pleas for alliance, flickered across the screens, each one a potential spark to ignite a broader insurrection. In a softly lit conference bay, Nova convened a council of minds. Lysander, still carrying the adrenaline of close calls, leaned forward with a blend of wit and determination, his voice resonating with the raw energy of newfound purpose. "We've seen the darkness out there," he said, his tone measured but fervent. "But now, more than ever, we must show them that even in the void, a single light can lead the way." Dr. Mira Solis, whose keen intellect had always been the ship's guiding star for scientific wonders, outlined her vision of strategic alliances with colonies that had long resisted the Council's iron grip. With a sweeping gesture, she traced the routes on the holographic star map. "There are worlds out there, hidden in plain sight, places where nature thrives, untouched by the Council's cold order. They are our best chance to muster a force strong enough to challenge the tyranny that has smothered Earth." In one particularly poignant moment, Reeve revealed critical intelligence gathered during the perilous journey. Leaning over a cluster of flickering data, he explained, We've intercepted Council communications hinting at an imminent crackdown, targeting those who dare to defy their orders. This isn't just about reclaiming Earth. It's a battle for every outpost, every colony that yearns for freedom. His words carried a somber weight, as each syllable underscored the risk and urgency of their mission. The dialogue in the room swirled with both strategy and raw emotion. Nova, whose quiet leadership had become the binding force of the crew, urged them to remember the bigger picture. "We are not merely outlaws or lost souls," Nova proclaimed, eyes gleaming with an unyielding resolve. "We are the heartbeat of a future where every voice matters, a future where the legacy of Earth is reborn in every act of defiance." As the session drew to a close, the atmosphere in the ship shifted palpably. The crew dispersed, each individual now armed with not only intelligence, but with the understanding that their collective courage was the true engine of change. In hushed tones along the corridors and in secretive communications with distant allies, plans were laid to covertly rally the disenfranchised. Each message, every whispered promise of rebellion, wove a tapestry of resistance that spanned the stars. Outside, as the ship hurtled deeper into the outer reaches of the galaxy, the void itself seemed to echo with the pulse of a burgeoning uprising. The misfits, once scattered and isolated, now found solidarity in the shared dream of liberation. Their every action, every calculated risk, was a defiant stand against an oppressive regime that had long thrived on fear and control. In that charged crucible of hope and danger, the heart of the rebellion beat steadily, a beacon to guide lost souls towards a destiny where unity and freedom could once again illuminate the cosmos. The seeds of revolution were sown, and as Nova's ship carried them into the darkness, it promised that no tyranny could withstand the combined force of a united, unyielding spirit. The void outside the ship's reinforced hull crackled with the impending storm of conflict, a silent prelude to the clash that would determine the fate of countless worlds. Nova's vessel, scarred by battles yet still resolute, slipped into a shadowy sector of space where the known laws of order gave way to chaos. Here, in the cold embrace of the cosmos, the final confrontation with the Galactic Council's enforcers loomed large. The air in the command module was thick with anticipation. Nova's eyes, steeled with the resolve of a leader who had long borne the weight of Earth's lost legacy, scanned the myriad screens and readouts that lit the bridge with urgent red warnings. "All units, prepare for engagement," Nova commanded, voice resonant and unwavering. The calm before the storm was over. Now was the time to test their collective courage. Across the vast emptiness, a fleet of Council cruisers emerged like spectral predators. Their sleek, obsidian forms glinted ominously against the distant glow of nebulae, and their synchronized formations spoke of a power built on intimidation and order. But to Nova and the defiant crew, those monstrous ships were symbols of tyranny, a challenge that must be met with unyielding defiance. In the heart of the confrontation, as blaster fire sliced through the silence of space and energy shields flared against the onslaught, the ship weaved through a deadly ballet of explosions and stray debris. Lysander's fingers danced across the control panel, every maneuver a blend of instinct and calculated brilliance. "Steady now," he called out, his voice laced with adrenaline as he steered the ship with daring precision through the enemy barrage. Inside the vessel, every crew member played their part in the cosmic symphony of battle. Dr. Mira Solis monitored the ship's life support and critical systems, her eyes darting over streams of data, ensuring that every heartbeat of the vessel pulsed in time with their collective resistance. Reeve, hands slick with the residue of defiant sparks, maintained the ship's intricate shield matrix, each adjustment a silent prayer against the relentless tide of Council fire. Amid the chaos, Nova's mind was singularly focused on the impending meeting with Supreme Chancellor Varys. The anticipation of that confrontation lent the entire battle a heightened intensity, a personal duel that transcended the physical warfare. In the midst of swirling energy and clashing metal, Nova activated the secure communication channel, summoning Varys into an uneasy parley. On the main screen, Supreme Chancellor Varys materialized as a figure of cold authority, his features unervingly calm against the backdrop of the battle raging outside. His voice, smooth and dismissive, carried across the void. "Captain Sterling, you continue to defy reason. Surrender now, and perhaps your people will be spared the full measure of our justice." Nova's reply was a measured blend of defiance and sorrow. "Justice is not found in subjugation, Varys. Today, you face not just a renegade, but the culmination of every forgotten voice, every silenced cry from Earth. We are here to reclaim our destiny." The dialogue between them crackled with the intensity of clashing ideologies. Varys' eyes, cold and unyielding, belied a dangerous certainty in the Council's might, while Nova's gaze burned with the fervor of a rebel determined to transform pain into hope. Each word was punctuated by the violent symphony of the battle, a fierce reminder that this was not just a war of weapons, but of beliefs. As the confrontation escalated, Nova's ship executed a daring series of evasive maneuvers, darting between explosive tendrils of energy and shattered remnants of enemy craft. The very fabric of space seemed to bend under the strain of combat, time stretching as every second became a lifetime of decisions and sacrifices. Crew members exchanged determined glances in fleeting moments of respite, knowing that the outcome of this encounter would ripple across galaxies. In a heart-stopping moment, the vessel shuddered as a concentrated barrage from a Council cruiser struck a critical juncture in the shield array. Nova's grip tightened on the helm, and with a surge of ingenuity and resolve, Reeve orchestrated a countermeasure, a brilliant flash of improvised energy that momentarily disoriented the enemy. The brief window allowed Nova to order a direct charge towards Varys' flagship, their lone vessel transforming into a spear of rebellion aimed at the heart of tyranny. In that charged corridor of space, as the final confrontation reached its zenith, Nova's defiant cry echoed against the void. "For Earth, for every soul silenced by your indifference, this is our reckoning." The words rang out, a battle hymn that transcended fear and ignited the embers of revolution. The stage was set for a duel of ideologies, where the fate of a forgotten world, and perhaps the entire galaxy, would be decided. The clash in the void was no longer just a war between ships. It was a collision of hope and oppression, a moment where even the darkest corners of space could be illuminated by the unyielding light of resistance. The violent symphony of battle gradually ebbed into a heavy, reflective silence as the debris of conflict drifted in the void. Nova's ship, battered but unbowed, limped back toward the core of the rebellion, a silent testament to the courage that had defied tyranny. Amid the scattered remnants of shattered enemy cruisers and the fading glow of energy fires, the cosmos itself seemed to exhale, as if relieved that the long, grueling night was finally drawing to a close. In the aftermath of the fierce confrontation, the crew found themselves gathered in the quiet command module. The hum of the ship's engines had softened to a steady heartbeat, a rhythmic reminder that life and hope endured even in the face of overwhelming loss. Nova stood before them, every scar and every battle cry etched into their determined gaze. The confrontation with Supreme Chancellor Varys had not erased the pain of past neglect, but it had kindled a fire that no enemy could douse. As the vessel charted a course back toward the newly awakened enclaves of resistance, news of the daring stand spread like a cosmic wildfire. Worlds once shackled by the Council's iron grip began to stir, and hidden rebel cells transmitted messages of renewed vigor and solidarity. The revelations uncovered during the mission, a tapestry of deceit, control, and a systematic erasure of Earth's legacy, had fractured the oppressive regime's veneer. Now, disparate voices across the galaxy were uniting, their resolve strengthened by the symbolic victory of one solitary ship daring to challenge the status quo. In the heart of a distant colony, leaders and citizens alike gathered in community halls and open plazas. Their faces, illuminated by the soft glow of makeshift lanterns and ancient star maps, reflected a mixture of cautious optimism and fervent hope. They had long lived under the shadow of neglect, but the story of Captain Nova Sterling and their intrepid crew had rekindled a belief that a better future was possible, a future where every voice, no matter how small, could reverberate across the cosmos. Back aboard the ship, Nova retreated to the quiet solitude of the bridge. The scars of battle and the weight of sacrifice lay heavy on their shoulders, yet there was a glimmer of serenity in their eyes, a resolute promise that the fight was far from over. Each moment of silence was filled with memories of comrades lost, of daring escapes, and of moments when hope had been nearly extinguished. But each memory also bore witness to a profound truth, that even in the darkest abyss, the light of defiance could ignite the dawn of change. The crew slowly emerged from their private reflections, gathering around Nova as the captain began to outline the next steps. "We have proven that even a single ship can be the spark that lights a galaxy," Nova declared, their voice steady and resolute. "Today, we reclaim not just our past, but the future of every world that has ever yearned for freedom." Their words resonated through the cabin, a unifying cord that bound the rebels together in a shared vision of renewal. Across star systems, the ripple effects of their actions began to coalesce into a tangible movement. The Galactic Council, once the monolith of power and control, found its foundations shaking as public outcry surged from every corner of the galaxy. The evidence of corruption, long hidden behind layers of bureaucratic indifference, was laid bare for all to see. In its place, a new order, one built on principles of justice, inclusivity, and respect for the legacy of every culture, began to take shape. As Nova's ship set its course for a final rendezvous with Allied forces, the stars themselves seemed to shine brighter. Every planet, every colony, every isolated outpost pulsed with the promise of a reborn civilization. The long-forgotten Earth, once dismissed as obsolete, was now poised to reclaim its rightful place among the stars, a beacon of resilience, hope, and rebirth. In the quiet hum of the ship and the steady cadence of hearts united by purpose, the dawn of a new era was unmistakable. The tyranny of the past was giving way to the bright, uncertain future of collective rebellion, a future where every soul, every lost voice, would find its place in the grand tapestry of the cosmos. The journey had been arduous, the sacrifices many, but in this singular moment of unity and clarity, the misfits of Nova's crew and the countless others inspired by their actions stood as living proof that a single act of defiance could reshape destiny. The stars, witness to their struggle and triumph, shone down upon them as a silent promise of new beginnings. The legacy of Earth and the spirit of rebellion would live on, forever etched in the annals of galactic history, a testament to the unyielding power of hope and the relentless pursuit of freedom.